Welcome to Get to the Hook. I am your co-host, Charles Latibeaudiere.
And I'm your co-host, Eric Colley.
And this week, the hook is surprise.
I didn't tell you what the topic was.
Eric decided that he was going to just, brighten my day with a little surprise. Or I hope it's going to be brightening. I don't know what the surprise is. I walked in here and I was like, is this like a Goodfellas surprise? I don't want to get Joe Pesci'd here.
No.
All right. Okay.
So it is June now.
Mm-hmm.
And if your social media is anything like mine, it is full of pictures of graduations.
Yes.
If it's you and your peers graduating, maybe your friends' kids are graduating, maybe grandkids, depending on how old you are. But the class of 2025, it is their moment. Everybody's posting their grads.
I have had to buy a graduation card or two in the last month. Yes.
Yeah, it happens every year around this time.
Sure.
So I thought let's spotlight some graduations, but instead of the class of 2025, let's focus on a particular class.
Okay.
The class of 1987.
Oh, yes.
We've spotlighted 2005 on this show, 2010, but we are going back in the Wayback Machine to the class of 87. And why would we do that?
Well, as memory serves, and it still at this point does serve this far back, that was the year I graduated. I don't know about you, Eric.
No, I was a little bit after that, but
damn it,
old man.
Yes, the class of 87. What a year it was. I actually love, you can hear like the old countdowns, and I love when they go to 87 because I always go like, oh yeah, that's right. I was getting ready for prom, and this song was big.
What was your class song?
Our prom theme?
No, both. What was your prom song and your class song?
What was our class song? I don't think we had a class song.
Really?
We had a favorite. I think we had a favorite band that we had to vote for in our yearbook. But our prom theme was, oh God.
This is what happens when your high school graduation has been a while ago.
It's very depressing. That's why it was. No, it was Led Zeppelin. Thank you.
Oh, that's
that
cool.
Wasn't depressing.
My prom theme was "The Dance" by Garth Brooks. So.
Ooh, that is depressing.
And our class song, I'm still bitter about this. "A Whole New World" from Aladdin. I did not vote for that. I'm angry to this day about that.
Oh my God, that was it.
We got to vote between that or Boyz II Men's "End of the Road." I was all for "End of the Road," and I remember getting into a fight with a friend of mine. She was like, "That song has nothing to do with graduation. It's about a relationship." I'm like, "Your song's about a flying carpet. Your song is stupid."
No, you know why I got confused about mine. "Thank You" actually is by Led Zeppelin is a fine enough prom theme. It's it's romantic and whatever. The year before, the class before us, their senior prom, and I went to that senior prom because
of course you did.
I was a cool guy on campus.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, your senior yearbook is online, by the way. I saw some pictures.
Oh yeah, it is. Yes, it is. But that class before us, their prom theme was "Wish You Were Here" by Pink Floyd.
Ooh.
About heroin addiction. So, yeah, I don't know what was going on with them, but
man, the class of '86, woof. So, and I hate when I'm a stickler about music and when it came out and when things were on the radio and stuff. Mm-hmm. I hate when DJs do a reunion kind of thing like that, and they'll just play songs from 1987, and they'll play songs from like November, December. That doesn't matter. College and working, you're gone. Right. Yeah. So we are going to focus. We are going to focus from the fall of 1986 to the spring of 87. All right. We are doing the school year, not the year 87, but the school year 86-87.
Okay.
So we're gonna go.
Are we going through the number ones each week?
Not every number one. No. Okay. Although for the record, so I'm just going from the first week of September to the first week of June because you might have come back in August. I don't know. School started.
No. When did we start? No. Actually,
for me, it was always right after Labor Day.
I think we started in September, yeah. It was September.
So the number one for that week, actually it's funny, your first and last number ones are both remakes. The first one was Venus by Bananarama in 86, first week of September. First week of June of 87 was You Keep Me Hanging On by Kim Wilde, for a cover of the old Supreme song.
I remember that. I was like, why is this song I didn't get it.
I don't know. But there were some huge songs over that school year, and I'm not going to play any of these because we've all heard them a million times. That's the thing for me also is people want to gravitate to the most obvious songs, the ones that never went away, that you've heard this whole time. And there's not even a lot of nostalgia now because
you hear them so much that it's not even...
so like...
Doesn't feel like you're having a flashback.
So we're going to do some of the big songs, some of the more slightly obscure ones.
Excellent.
Some hopefully you haven't heard in a long time.
This is a fun game to do. Everyone
I love
should do
doing
this. Everyone should do this for their year. This is fun.
I have done this with so many people, and I'd say about half a dozen times people have wound up crying a little bit. Not out of sadness, just
no
certain.
pressure.
I don't think it's going to happen today, but sometimes a certain.
You don't know what happened to me in '86, '87?
I don't, but we might find out. Some of the big hits that we're just going to acknowledge that everybody knows: Christmas of '86, #1 for 4 weeks; "Walk Like an Egyptian" by the Bangles, which blocked "Everybody Have Fun Tonight" by Wang Chung, which I'm okay never hearing that song again. "Living on a Prayer" Bon Jovi, that song has never gone away.
That's the song that haunts me most from my senior year.
Yeah, that's yeah. And not that it's a bad song.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say,
it's not
a
good song.
It's not a bad song. It's just after you hear it the 400th time, then you're like, okay.
Okay, yeah. I knew you were waiting for me. George Michael, Aretha
yes.
Franklin.
I hold that one. I love that was my senior year because that's my favorite duet of all time.
That was sort of the soft launch of his solo career after Wham.
Yep.
Also, this was more for like the littler kids. You were probably a bit old for it, but remember Somewhere Out There, Linda Ronstadt and James Ingram from An American Tail with about 5 of the Mouse.
I remember thinking, this song is so stupid, and I love that song now.
Yeah,
I was listening to
Linda
Linda Ronstadt's like greatest hits the other day, and I was like, oh, God, this song is so cool.
Now that you've got some distance and it's okay to... The stuff that when you were in high school, you're like, oh, this is like mom music.
Oh, this is lame.
Yeah, and then you get older and you're like, it's so sweet. Some of the big albums that came out during that school year, some of the A-list stars that put out new records, Madonna's True Blue came out that had Papa Don't Preach, Open Your Heart. Also, True Blue. Lionel Richie's Dancing on the Ceiling. Huey Lewis and the News' 4. Stuck With You, the lead single, is a big hit. Cyndi Lauper's True Colors. Tina Turner's Break Every Rule. Bruce Springsteen Live, 1975 to 1985, the box set.
The box set.
That was the big Christmas gift that year. My dad had that on cassette. Fleetwood Mac's Tango in the Night that had Everywhere, Seven Wonders, Big Love. A lot of songs that have gone viral on TikTok in recent years. Graceland by Paul Simon. Rain and Blood by Slayer. Yeah, for all the metal kids that hung out under the bleachers.
Yeah, I do remember people talking a lot about Slayer.
REM's Life Search Pageant. Prince's Sign of the Times came out in the spring of '87. The title song, the first pop hit to ever reference AIDS, which was a big deal at the time.
Oh, all the lyrics that I have a good Sign of the Times story.
Oh, well, go ahead.
In fact, I remember this now. It was the summer. The movie came out in the summer of '86.
Yeah, because he didn't '87 because he didn't tour the album, so he toured Europe and released the movie in America.
So I had graduated. I went up to visit my cousins who lived in Rochester. We're all hanging out when we were like, "What are we going to do tonight?" And it's like, the new Prince movie is out. We got to go see the Prince movie. And they're like, really? I go, guys, trust me, it's going to be great.
Because the movie before was Under the Cherry Moon was a big flop, but this was a concert movie, so it was just...
Right, except that I would have liked to have known that information before I convinced my whole family to go see it. They thought we were going to see another Purple Rain.
Right.
And didn't realize it was just a concert film.
But you went to a Prince concert, basically.
I loved it, but everybody else was like, what are we doing here? We thought we were going to like see a movie. I go, you guys are complaining about watching, and they're like, yeah, but we don't know any of the songs. I only knew like 2 of the songs.
Yeah, he didn't do a lot of his old hits, and he just did the new stuff.
Yeah, so
well,
I loved it.
It's one of the greatest concert films ever. U2's The Joshua Tree came out in the spring of '87. Yeah. Also, some albums that came out earlier in '86 that were still spinning off hits all throughout your senior year. Invisible Touch by Genesis, Control by Janet Jackson, just hit after hit after hit from that. Soundtracks, still huge. The summer of '86.
No Peter Gabriel? Peter Gabriel?
A little bit earlier in '86, but that goes through. Yeah. Like I said, I'm trying to limit to...
I got you.
But you're right, but Big Time was a hit.
What I remember about this era for me is that this was the beginning of buying CDs.
Yeah.
This was like the first CDs I owned were in this era. So it was a big deal to like have them all stacked up on my
And this is when they were still in the long boxes.
Yeah.
Big, long, wasteful cardboard long boxes. The soundtrack's the big one in the summer of '86 that carried through into the fall, of course, Top Gun. Not even Danger Zone. That was in the summer. The big hit from that movie when your senior year started was Berlin's Take My Breath Away, which would go on to win the Academy Award for Best Original Song.
There was another one with Nancy Hart. Not Nancy.
Everything in Almost
Nancy
Paradise.
Wilson.
That was from Footloose. It's the Kenny Loggins thing.
Oh, you're right.
Kenny Loggins screws it up.
You're right.
He's
That's
on
right.
everything.
Footloose.
Also, 2 older hits from the '60s were big hits during your senior year because of movies. Benny King's classic Stand By Me was a top 10 hit all over again because of the movie, which was a great movie. And the Beatles had a hit during your senior year. Twist and Shout hit the top 30 because of Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
That's right.
The big dance scene.
It really made top. I didn't realize
made the top 30, and
charted.
Stand By Me went top 10. So another really significant thing, and looking up the exact dates on this stuff, hip hop had a breakthrough moment your senior year. Not only did the first 2 rap songs ever to make the top 10 happen during your senior year of high school.
Walk This Way.
That first week of September is when Walk This Way hit the top 10. So you started your senior year the same week rap made the top 10 for the first time. But then, of course, I know you're a little misty already. But of course, what eventually took rap to number 1 on the album chart in the spring of '87? White guys. But not Vanilla Ice, not Marky
Ice.
Mark. These were like the cool white guys.
Like cool white guys, exactly.
And they hit the top 10 with this song, which still sounds cool. This is the Beastie Boys. You gotta fight for your right to party.
You gotta fight for your right to party.
I know they've like kind of disavowed that song,
but it hit hard. It did hit pretty hard.
It still does. That is such a pump up song. These obnoxious,
that's actually
snotty punk rap kids.
It was played a lot on the team bus from football games. Yeah.
Of course it was.
There you go. On the way to football games.
Also, and this was, I did Just For You, a rap album that came out. It wasn't a huge commercial success, but it was a critical, huge success. Coming right out of the Bronx. Boogie Down Productions. The Bridge Is Over.
Yes.
And Boogie Down Productions eventually gave us KRS-One when he went solo. So you were like right in the center of it because you graduated in the Bronx.
I just remember like being in college, those first couple years in college, like listening to a lot of like that hip hop. And I'll be honest, like where I went to high school, hip hop wasn't getting out, wasn't played as much at that point. And so it was great when I got to college and you hear lots of people's other people's music, and it was EDP.
You were like right in the epicenter. Yeah,
EDP.
That wasn't the hot thing probably in your high school. Probably the hot thing was Bon Jovi's "Slippery When Wet" album. Fall of '86. They first
it was with the girls.
Okay, now you say that, and I get it. John Bon Jovi was eye candy for the ladies.
There was no guy who was like, "Oh yeah, I'm into Bon Jovi."
I will slightly disagree because I think, okay, You Give Love a Bad Name. Yeah, guys probably weren't that into that song. Living on a Prayer. Oof. The third single. Guys didn't want to admit it, but they thought this was cool, and I did not want to play "Living on a Prayer." I wanted to play this.
I'm going to admit the one that I liked. I don't know if that's the one you're going to play because this is all a surprise to me, but I will have my Bon Jovi confession.
This is "Wanted Dead or Alive."
It is the only cool song.
That's the one you were thinking?
Say back there, but that's not the one I was thinking. That one I do love.
That little descending guitar thing that Richie Sambora did is so cool. It started the song. It hit in a couple of key moments throughout the song.
Yep.
That's cool. And on the Steel Horse I Ride.
It's a great song. It is a great song. The one that I'm going to confess to. That's not a confession. Like you should love that song.
That's a cool song. Yeah. Oh, I have a guilty pleasure Bon Jovi song. So
the one I'm going to confess to is it's not from this album. It's the next album, the Jersey album. Yeah. Lay Your Hands on Me.
That's the one for you?
I know. I liked it.
No, I can't make fun of you because my favorite from that album is I'll Be There For You, the big power ballad. Oh. I don't know why I liked that song, but I did. I know it's trash.
The scream in that song is...
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he could emulate it in concert because it was
that's not my favorite part of the song.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, but Bon Jovi was so big, and they broke the door wide open for what we now call hair metal. Because also during your senior year, Poison had their first big hit with Talk Dirty to Me, Cinderella with Nobody's Fool, Europe, The Final Countdown. Bon Jovi kind of kicked the door open, and then by the fall of '87, right after you graduated, Def Leppard released Hysteria, and then that was it.
Yeah, Def Leppard. Although Def Leppard was considered cool before, and they were actually like metal. And then because of the Bon Jovi thing, and then when Hysteria came out, they were attached to that. Then suddenly they weren't as cool. But whatever, we went to see him in concert.
I think but Bon Jovi's the moment when like the glam rock of the '80s, like the Quiet Riot and stuff, it went from all the makeup and the Twisted Sister to jeans and cowboy boots and getting rid of the makeup. It tried to appeal a little bit more to guys, I think. Motley Crue did Girls, Girls, Girls that fall of '87, and same thing, stripped all the makeup off.
I don't know why certain, like, why was it that Bon Jovi was not cool, but Motley Crue was cool, and
because Motley Crue was for dudes,
and even Poison was people were okay with.
They straddled the line. They were the in between of Bon Jovi and Motley Crue, but and then Def Leppard. I would love to know in total how much money have strippers over the years made from Pour Some Sugar on Me.
From me personally?
No.
Oh.
Well, that's it. Oh, well, I wasn't saying that, but now that you brought it up, if you
I'm kidding.
in case your mom's listening,
No, you will not find it. Not to that song anyway.
some of the big artists who broke through during the 86-87 school year: Anita Baker, who'd been around for a couple of years, Sweet Love, hit in the fall of '86.
Magnifique.
The woman's still a legend.
One of my greatest. I loved Anita Baker from the very first time I heard her, and so to have years and years later, one of those things we always talk about, like you move to Hollywood and you actually end up meeting some of your heroes and some of your favorite artists, and she was every bit as amazing a person as I imagined her to be when I heard Sweet Love.
I mean, she was jazz and pop and R&B and all these things just swirling together, and it still sounds good. It's not dated. Bruce Hornsby in the Range hit in '86 The Way It Is, and eventually won the Best New Artist Grammy for '86. Jodie Watley won the Best New Artist for '87. She hit with Looking for a New Love after leaving the group Shalimar and had a run of hits there. Lisa and Cult Jam all cried out before later in '87 they hit big with Head to Toe and Lost in Emotion. And a funk group had been around for years by '86 and was big on the R&B scene, but had a hard time crossing over to pop. And then they finally got a big classic top 10 hit in the fall of '86. This is Cameo and Word Up.
Mama, come on, baby, tell me what's the word up.
I didn't realize I would have guessed the '87 on that, but yeah.
It was like October, November of '86 is when it peaked. But Cameo, Larry Blackmon, that voice is so distinctive, and he always had that red cod piece that I never understood, but I remember it all these years later. So maybe that was the point.
Yeah.
Just you had to visually stand up.
You got to have something that's you got to have a gimmick, man.
This was the MTV era, and you had to.
Right. That's why everyone had to do these visuals, which is why Bon Jovi became what Bon Jovi is.
Because he was pretty.
Yeah.
And
play your music and all, blah blah blah.
Yeah, but he was pretty. But for me, the thing, like I said, the big hits like "Living on a Prayer" and "Walk Like an Egyptian," those songs have never gone away. Everybody, every generation has heard those songs. They know them. The thing that really, to me, identifies a year or a moment in time are the one-hit wonders. The people who had a little moment that everybody knew them, then they went away. And maybe younger people don't know the songs or don't know the artists.
I have a feeling some of these are going to be.
I bet you will know all of these. Just some remember Stacy Q, Two of Hearts? Two of Hearts. Glass Tiger, Don't Forget Me When I'm Gone, featuring vocals from Bryan Adams.
That's not a.
They had two hits. They had a couple hits, but they had I'm just talking about maybe not one literal hit, but they had one moment.
Okay.
And then kind of that was it. Actually, not a one-hit wonder. Samantha Fox had a run. Remember her? She was the topless British model who became a pop star. And
Page 3 girl who
Touch Me, I Want Your Body.
Mm-hmm.
A guy who actually had a couple of hits. January of '87, this song peaked. It was on the radio all the time, and you don't hear it much anymore, but I bet you remember this.
January '87.
Robbie Neville, C'est La Vie.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was going to be a really big thing. He had a couple other hits, What's It To You and Dominoes.
Right.
Had a little run of hits, but I
Is
thought
this
he was
around
going to be
the same time as Scritti Politti?
They were 85.
85.
They were a little bit before Robbie Neville.
All right.
Gregory Abbott hit #1 with Shake You Down. Yeah. Cutting Crew, I Just Died in Your Arms. Club Nouveau with their remake of Lean on Me. A lot of remakes were big in '86, '87.
It was a thing.
It was a thing. And it's funny because I knew the Club Nouveau version of Lean on Me, I think, before I knew the Bill Withers.
Oh, really?
Just because I heard theirs all the time. I was 12. And so when I heard Bill Withers, I kept waiting for him to do the "We Be Jammin'." Spoiler, Bill Withers didn't do that.
Bill Withers did not do that. I'm glad he didn't.
That's kind of like even now if I listen to Roberta Flack.
Yes, you want to hear that. One time.
Killing Me Softly. It's not going to be in her original. A song, I think, one of the best songs of your senior year, and one of my favorite, not just favorite songs of the 80s, I think one of the best pop hits of all time. So in the 60s, you know the song A Wider Shade of Pale by Procol Harum? Beautiful song, that organ, it's haunting. To me, there was a song that evoked that feeling in the 80s. The group had a couple hits from New Zealand, Crowded House. This is Don't Dream It's Over.
Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes.
It's a beautiful song. Like really from the very beginning, like the opening of the song.
Oh yeah, there's like little like strummy guitar notes, and there's the organ solo in it. It's a haunting, beautiful song. And I saw an interview with Neil Finn, the lead singer, and kind of changed the context of the song a bit. You know, it's a hopeful song. It's saying, you know, when the world comes in to build a wall between us and break us down, don't dream it's over. And it's a hopeful song. He said for them, I think just to keep themselves amused, because they played this song so many times,
Right.
they would just, in their minds, put a little piece of punctuation that changed the whole thing. So if you put a comma or a period in the middle of the title, it becomes "Don't dream, it's over." And I was like, that is the saddest thing. Like, you have
honestly,
the world's coming in to destroy us, and don't dream, it's over.
as teenagers are wont to do, I didn't listen to all of the lyrics that closely, and it's more the chorus that you connect with. I never heard it as a hopeful song. Never heard it as a hopeful song.
Because it sounds so sad.
Yes, because it sounds sad,
There's a
and I
melancholy
probably
to
did put the comma in there.
Yeah, but you know, he's saying, I mean, the chorus is.
But the rest of it, you're right. When you listen to the verses, it's hopeful.
Yeah, he's like saying, you know, the world's coming in to build a wall between us, and they will come, but don't.
You know they
dream it's
won't
over.
win.
They won't win.
Yeah.
We won't let them win. I love that song. The Georgia Satellites, "Keep Your Hands to Yourself." Remember that song?
Yes. Oh yeah.
There's a song you haven't heard in a minute. One of the most ridiculous hits of the fall of '86 got a parody on Saturday Night Live, but not in 1986. It got parodied in 2018.
What?
This
Are you doing? Is this? Wait, it was no. Orange Juice Jones wasn't.
Orange Juice Jones?
It is Orange
yes,
Juice Jones?
Orange Juice Jones.
That
This was
was.
his one big hit, "The Rain."
Oh, see, the best
I
part
know,
of the
the
song.
parts at the end
I know,
when he's
the
yelling
best part
at
of
the
the song
woman.
is, hey, baby, how you doing? Come on in here. Come on in. Yeah.
So the thing they made
Okay,
fun of
cool.
on SNL, and I couldn't play the whole song, and I wish I could have. So the song is like him walking in the rain, following his girlfriend with another man because she's cheating on him.
Right.
So he's following them to catch her. Then at the end of it, he goes off on this whole spoken word thing where he invites her in and tells her he's been following her. Says, "First, I thought about rolling up and shooting you and killing you both."
About to,
And then he goes, "You thought you
run
could..."
up on you and jam and flat pass both of you.
It's right. And he talks about, you know, she's cheating on the juice, which now the juice chasing down his girlfriend and her
Is
ex-girlfriend
a whole
and boyfriend
different
is-
concept.
the context of that has definitely changed. Tells her he cut up all of her cards, sold her jewelry, told her that her without him is like cereal without the milk. It's his world. She's a squirrel trying to get a nut. It's ridiculous. It's so over the top.
What I love about this song is it, you know, as I've alluded to, where I went to high school was not the most diverse town.
Yeah.
But songs like this were, even though like we're like making fun of this one, and it's kind of a novelty song, but they at least got like people in my time being like, hey, that's an interesting sound. Like people started to listen to R&B,
Yeah.
R&B themed songs, R&B, that whole genre a
Yeah.
little bit
You also,
more.
around the
And
same
Janet
time,
Jackson.
you had Rumors by the Timex Social Club.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those things helped.
Those songs,
Good.
those songs help. But yeah, so do you remember the SNL thing? It was Donald Glover hosted, who kind of looks a little bit like Orange Juice Jones.
Yeah.
And he played a singer named Raz P. Berry, who comes into his girlfriend, Cecily Strong played it, and he's like telling her, like, "I took all your jewelry and shoved it up my butt." He goes, "And you love the smell of my hair, but hate the smell of my pee. So guess what? I put my pee in my hair." And she's like trying to interrupt him, and he won't let her talk, like in the video.
Right.
And then at the end, she goes, I don't know you." She's like, "You've got dark sunglasses on, and it's dark in this club. Maybe you thought I was someone else." And then Keenan comes up as her husband, and he's like, "Who's this?" He goes, "This is Mr. Raz
I
P.
did not
Berry."
see that.
You
I
should
gotta
watch
go
it.
look
It's
that up.
hilarious. But it was just so funny to me that they would do a parody of The Rain in 2018. Like,
Why? Yeah. Why were they even thinking about the rain? But
I don't know, but
but I will tell you, anytime that song I happen to hear it and it comes on like on Sirius XM or something, I'm there all the way there.
Oh,
I will even
absolutely.
rewind the song if I come in the middle of it and be like, nope, got to hear it from the beginning.
And it's one song when the chorus hits, you know, if you're singing along, I can't sing along to the lead vocal. You want to do the "I saw you and him." You got to hit that backing
Walking in the
vocal.
rain.
I know that you are a big blues fan. You like blues and blues
Mhm.
guitar. Do you remember the big blues hit in 1987? It's not often that blues songs make the top 40.
Ooh, a blues top 40.
There was a blues song
87.
that hit number 22.
I do not.
Maybe you will when you hear it. And it's an art. He never had any other big hits as crossover hits. but
Oh,
that's
wait.
not it.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
You got it?
Was it Robert Cray?
The Robert Cray Band. This
Yes.
is Smoking Gun.
Smoking Gun.
And I know just where to catch you with that well-known smoking gun.
if you've never heard that song, if that's the first time you've heard it and you give two craps about the blues, you have to listen to that song. It's not just a pop crossover song.
Yeah.
It is, what it really is a vehicle for a ridiculous pair of solos.
Right.
Two solos he plays in the song that are, and I feel like everything else was like, that was the start. And then it's like, oh, let's build a song around it.
Yeah, it's like, well, let's just toss some lyrics and some sort of verses on it.
Right. But
that's why he didn't have other hits. But hits are irrelevant to a lot of people, and he is one of them. Won 5 Grammys. 2011 got inducted in the Blues Hall of Fame. That's a lot cooler than another minor top 40 hit. You don't need that.
Yeah.
And the last song I wanted to play only got to number 19, but it's a very memorable song. And I thought maybe this could have been your class song. I imagine a lot of people who graduated in '87 had this as their class song because it was hopeful about what you were going to accomplish in life, but also set in the middle of Cold War panic because we were still at the tail end of the Cold War there.
That's true. Yep.
It was kind of a novelty song, but kind of not. This is Timbuk 3's The Future's So Bright, I Gotta Wear Shades.
I'm doing all right, getting good grades. The future's so bright, I gotta wear shades.
I never really got into that song.
I never loved it, but I just imagine...
I had a lot of friends who were into it and they loved it. And yes, it was a thing that people...
The future's bright.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're thinking about when you're 17, 18 years old.
Yeah. I can remember some nights parked somewhere doing things we shouldn't have been doing, and someone put that song and someone yelled, "Turn that crap off." No, I like it. All right, fine.
But that was also kind of the beginning of like alternative and college rock crossing into the mainstream, like that song. And then you had REM and U2 and all these other bands like the B-52s, The Cure, who had been around the mainstream, started becoming the mainstream. Yeah. And that was one. I mean, it's a goofy song. But...
Very goofy song. Still don't like it. But,
yeah. But you had a bright future, so.
As it turns out, the future was pretty bright.
Yeah.
Wow. 87 was a good year.
87 was a good year.
I mean, we always talk about this because 80, as we know, we talk like, I always think 83 with Michael Jackson and Thriller, and then 84 is Everybody Under the Sun.
Those 2 years are the peak
85.
years.
I always think that, in my mind, I think that by 87, pop was starting to fall off. But it's not so much that it was falling, it was changing. It was
changing.
Yeah.
And right after you graduated in June of '87, Whitney Houston dropped her second album that had "I Want to Dance with Somebody," and Michael Jackson dropped "Bad" that fall. Like there was still a lot of interesting stuff going on.
Yes, indeed.
So, class of '87. Every year, like you said, '83, '84 to me are of '80s music, the pinnacle of that. But every year has its good stuff. Every year has its crap, and it's just what you choose to remember. And when you put them all together, it's like, oh God. Like I said, you remember like on school buses playing the Beastie Boys. They are the soundtrack of your life, whether you like it or not.
It really is. And that's why this is a fun game for everyone to do. In closing, I want to just deliver part of my valedictorian speech.
But you weren't the valedictorian.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't have one.
But you know what?
But if I had one,
who's to contradict you now? So you know what? Oh, you were? Oh, cool. What was your speech? Is this before you went to be a backup dancer for Janet Jackson? Because you've told that lie before too.
That's a much better story when you're trying to break the ice with someone in college. It doesn't work. So yeah,
that's a story that's for the '89 episode.
Who was the valedictorian in my class? I can't remember. It was
See, if you can't remember, then it doesn't even matter.
It was a girl. Like the first 29 people in my graduating class were girls.
The top 11 in my class were all girls.
No,
the highest guy was number 12 in my class.
Take it back. There was one guy. I want to Tom Dames, shout out. I think he was 15. Why I remember that?
The male valedictorian.
Yeah.
You know who the male valedictorian in my class was? Me.
Well, see,
but I was still number 12. I was still number 12.
Whatever. Anyway. That's right, that's my claim to fame. I was the second highest graduating guy. Tom was at 15, I was at 30. So
you were the male salutatorian.
Yeah, you know what? I hadn't thought.
There you go.
Thank you, Eric. This is all worth it. This is beautiful. All this time I haven't been giving myself the proper title.
There you go.
All right, well, that is going to do it for us. Play the game at home. Remember your glory days in high school,
and it's fun. I say because the songs that you loved, you will always go back and listen to throughout your life, probably. Listen to the ones you didn't like.
Exactly.
Because
Dig out
you'll
those-
remember not liking it. You're like, God, I remember like being in the hallway at my locker and this girl was singing this song and I hated it. There's something powerful about the memories of that stuff. Like it trapped your mind gets trapped with these songs forever.
As soon as you said that, I started thinking of songs that girls around my locker used to sing all the time.
Like what?
Thanks a lot, Lisa Lemon.
What was the song?
She sang Bangles. It wasn't Walk Like an Egyptian. It was a different Bangles song that she always
Manic
sang. I was like,
Monday?
maybe it was
Walking down your
Manic Monday.
street?
I think it was Manic Monday. And I don't even dislike that song,
Yeah.
but she would always sing it.
You're like, shut up, Lisa.
That is going to do it for us. We will see you next time on Get to the